I would love to introduce Shannon Liss-Riordan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name. I'm very terrible with names. Um, who is running for Attorney General for the state of Massachusetts. So let me highlight you here, Shannon, spotlight, and take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Hello, Salem Democrats. It's so great to see you this evening. My name is Shannon Liss-Riordan. I'm running for Massachusetts Attorney General. It's okay. Most people don't get it on the first try, so appreciate your trying. I'm really excited about this campaign and so enthusiastic about the support that I've been getting. We've been getting such great momentum as I've been traveling around Massachusetts for the last few months. Really looking forward to the run up to our primary in September. So for those of you who don't know me, haven't heard of me yet, let me just give you a little introduction to who I am, why I'm running for Attorney General, and I would so appreciate your support in this race. We have a lot of important decisions to make this September about elected leaders in Massachusetts. One of, I would say, the most important decisions is who is going to replace Maura Healey, step into her shoes and continue on with the terrific work that she has been doing. So let me explain to you why I am the person who you want to hire to be your next lawyer for the people of Massachusetts. I've spent my entire career taking on the biggest challenges and delivering big results for regular people. I have spent my entire 23 plus year legal career representing working people. I have led teams of lawyers and made national headlines, taking on some of the largest corporations in America. And time and again, we've beaten the odds. We have beaten corporations like Starbucks, FedEx, Uber, Amazon, IBM, my alma mater, Harvard University, which I have sued proudly at least 4 times. I have represented all types of working people, from waitresses to truck drivers to janitors to firefighters to Uber drivers to strippers, and helped them recover hundreds of millions of dollars that corporate America stole from them. This work has changed industries across Massachusetts and across the country. And I'm very proud to have spent my legal career fighting for the people, against the powerful, and winning. And that's exactly what I will do for you as your next Attorney General. I know that we've got a lot of issues facing us. People of Massachusetts could really use some wins right now. Income inequality is at an all-time high. Corporate bad actors are taking advantage of workers, consumers, and our planet. Unions and the right to organize are under attack. Parents are having to choose between childcare and putting food on the table. And as we all know, the US Supreme Court is in the process of releasing some really devastating decisions, including one that will take away nearly 50 years of reproductive freedom. The people deserve a champion. We need someone at the helm of the Attorney General's office who knows how to use the law to improve people's lives, which is what I have been doing for more than 20 years, taking on some of the biggest challenges facing us and making real progress in the courts, from fighting race discrimination to standing up for gender equality to protecting the dignity of work. The work that I have been doing over these last 23 years really has changed a number of industries, and I'm widely recognized as one of the top lawyers in the country representing workers' rights. Back when I was a new labor and employment lawyer early in my career, I pretty single-handedly took on the entire hospitality industry across Massachusetts, suing restaurants and hotels across the state for stealing tips from workers. After I got done with it, after a series of cases I brought, the entire industry understood that they better not try stealing tips, because if they did, I would come after them. I've probably best been known over the last few years for the work that I've been doing on behalf of the gig economy, workers for companies like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Grubhub. It's work that I started a decade ago, fighting for the rights of these workers to have our labor and employment protections, that has launched a national conversation on the importance of this issue. Many of you may have heard about the fact that these big tech companies have been trying to buy their way out of labor and employment laws around the country. They got away with it in California a couple of years ago by spending an unprecedented $200 million on a ballot initiative, the most expensive ballot initiative in history, to buy themselves a carve out from the law. And right after they did that, they decided their next target was Massachusetts. So they tried coming here. And about a year ago, I sounded the alarm and I co-founded a coalition of workers' rights advocates, consumer advocates, and civil rights advocates who said, no, Massachusetts is not for sale. And I'm very proud to say that just last week, this coalition that I co-founded had a stunning victory. We won at the Supreme Judicial Court and kept this initiative off the ballot. I'm very proud of that. But I know that they will be back. They'll be back very soon. I'm sure they'll be back in 2024. And it's important that we have someone leading the Attorney General's office who knows how to take them on, who knows how to beat these corporations who are trying to undermine the basic rights and protections and dignity that we have spent decades building up for working people. Those are just examples of the kind of work that I have been doing throughout my career. I like to tell people that you should consider this race to be like a job interview. You're deciding who you want to hire to be the next lawyer for the people of Massachusetts. I am the only candidate in this race who is an actual practicing lawyer. I'm the only candidate who has run a law firm. I'm the only one who has won the jury trials, who has won the appeals that have helped shape our laws to better and more fairly serve the people. And I'm doing that. I'm doing that now, even as I'm campaigning. You may have heard just a few weeks ago, I made national news for a very important civil rights case I took on against a Georgia school district. It was engaging in incredibly racist behavior. I was on CNN. It made national news for the school district that was letting white students do things like wear Confederate flags, reenact the murder of George Floyd, call Black students unbelievably racist names. And the teachers and administrators did nothing about it. And then when some of the Black students got together and decided to plan a peaceful protest and wear Black Lives Matter clothing, the school shut them down and then suspended them. So I proudly stood in front of the federal courthouse in Rome, Georgia, standing with these very brave students and their families saying, no, we're not going to let that happen in America. We filed a federal civil rights complaint, but and this was happening in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district, but I know that's not just happening in her district. This is happening across America, and it's happening in Massachusetts too. I know this because out on the campaign trail, I've heard so many stories. I heard just recently from a mother who described to me what was going on in her son's high school here in Massachusetts. It wasn't quite as egregious and shocking as what happened in Georgia, but pretty bad. We can do much better. I've been a civil rights lawyer. I've been a wage enforcement lawyer. I've fought for workers in all types of capacities, and I'm ready to put that experience and that energy and that passion to work for you to take on all types of bad actors in the employment arena, in the consumer arena, environmental, reproductive health, and the list goes on. I am really proud in this campaign to have the endorsement of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO, as well as about 50 individual labor unions. I have been an activist lawyer throughout my whole career. I got my start as a women's rights organizer and activist. Right after I graduated from college, my first job was working with the legendary Bella Abzug. So she got me started, and I've carried that activism and that belief that we can do better for people throughout my career. That's what inspired me to be a civil rights and workers' rights lawyer. And that is what is inspiring me to move from the work I've been doing for the last 20 years, essentially as a private attorney general, to try to take that next step and be the people's lawyer. I look forward to continuing expanding on this important work that has been my career, now with the power of the state behind me. So I would so appreciate your support, your vote in September. Would love your help on our campaign. You can read more about it and get involved by going to our website. It's Shannon4AG.com. That's Shannon, FORAG.com. I really appreciate your time tonight. It's great to see you. even in this virtual format. And if we've got any time for questions, I'd love to hear what's on your mind. I'd love to hear what you would like to see from the next Attorney General for Massachusetts. Thank you so much. I would be humbled and honored to have your support.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Let's see, let's get into the questions. Jeff Cohen.
Hi, Shannon. It's really important that we have a friend of labor in the office for all the reasons you gave. But I'm going to ask an environmental question because you named a lot of corporations you've sued, but you didn't name Eversource and National Grid. So here's my question. And I'm going to phrase it this way. The state is moving forward with offshore wind, but our solar industry has been decimated. 30% of the jobs have been lost since 2015. Our legislature, our state government has really done a poor job with that facet of the renewables. ISO New England, which controls the whole grid, did a behind the door decision. They went back on an earlier decision, and the decision they made is delaying implementation of renewables in Massachusetts for at least 18 months. I've been in contact with Maura Healey's office. They've committed to doing something, but we really need this to be litigated. And I'm hoping that you could speak about the poor decision of ISO New England and the way that National Grid and Eversource have monopolized our power grid and what we can do about that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, so thank you. I have spent my career taking on corporations and holding them accountable to our laws. And that is what I will do as Attorney General beyond the field of labor and employment, which has been my core work, but in getting where we need to be on climate change. So as I have been saying throughout this campaign, we get the first step is through the legislature. First, we got to get some good laws on the books. And I plan to be an activist Attorney General working with the legislature to make sure we get the right laws on our books that are going to move us forward, that are going to move us toward decarbonization and the emissions reductions goals that we need to meet. But getting the laws on the books is just the first step. We need a strong Attorney General who knows how to enforce the laws, because laws don't enforce themselves. So absolutely, that is what I plan to do as Attorney General. There is so much that we can be doing from the environmental division of the AG's office. We're one of the few states in the country where we have an environmental division at the AG's office that has criminal enforcement authority, which I will use aggressively to make sure corporations are held accountable. And Maura Healey has taken on some pretty important battles that I'm looking forward to continuing and extending, including the fight against Exxon for lying to us about climate change. What better way to fund clean energy initiatives than get those bad actors who have been profiting off of fossil fuels to pay for it? And one of the plans I have is to use penalties that we can recover from this environmental litigation and put it toward a green bank, which we can use to fund clean energy projects and environmental justice projects. So absolutely, I look forward as Attorney General to working partnership with environmental groups and so many activists who understand that this is an issue that can't wait. We need to get moving on our goals towards making sure that we meet our emissions reductions goals. And we also need to be coordinating across the country. Climate change obviously is not a local issue. It's not a statewide issue. It's not even a national issue. It's a global issue. So I look forward also to coordinating with and being a leader among attorneys general across the country on environmental enforcement, which is also work that I've already done in my career. I'm the only candidate who has coordinated with other AG's offices, and not just Massachusetts, but I've worked with the California AG's office in New York. So I look forward to that, and I look forward to being a leader among attorneys general on getting us where we need to be moving forward in the fight against climate change.
Thank you, Shannon. Let's see, John, you are next.
Thank you. I have a question about campaign financing. It's come up. I'm surprised that as far as I can see, it's only come up for the Attorney General's race. I've seen information come from Quentin Palfrey's campaign complaining about how Andrea Campbell is getting money from PACs and I suppose it's significant money, but the last time I looked, she has almost 10 times as many donors as Quentin Palfrey does. You, on the other hand, seem to be financing your campaign out of your own pocket. And I've seen Andrea Campbell complain about that, saying, well, gee, Shannon is trying to buy the office. And so I'd like to hear your response to that.
Yeah, so I'm really proud to have stood with Quentin Palfrey in calling for a clean election that is not supported by corporate super PACs. We've called specifically on Andrea Campbell multiple times to agree to disavow corporate spending and super PAC spending in this race, and she has declined to do that. So I think that is very unfortunate. We've asked for her to sign on to the People's Pledge, and she's declined to do that. I'm really proud of the fundraising that our campaign has done. I am not a politician. That's another thing I should have said. I'm not a politician. I'm a lawyer. I'm running for the job of being the lead lawyer for the people of Massachusetts. So I've been going out there. I'm really excited about the grassroots support we've gotten. And yes, I do know that we have a path here, and I've invested in my own campaign because I know that when people hear the message about the experience that I have and the work that I've done and what I plan to do with this office, they come on board. So I'm going to be spending my time talking to voters, spreading the word about what I plan to do with this office. And I'm very proud of that. So I look forward to continuing to get out there talking to the voters across Massachusetts. I think there is a huge difference between being able to contribute to one's own campaign and taking corporate money. I will not be beholden to any corporation. I don't take corporations' monies. I fight corporations and I beat them in court. And that's what I plan to do for you as your next Attorney General.
Thank you. Let's see, we're going to have Liz, you will be our last question, and then we'll wrap it up.
I just wanted to say that I saw your speech in Danvers and I liked it then, and I think you've polished it to another beautiful level. And as far as you contributing to your own campaign, I mean, obviously you're a high-powered lawyer, and women who work hard in their businesses and make a lot of money, you have every right to spend the money on your own campaign. And I will be going on your website to donate, so you don't have to spend so much money on your own campaign.
I thank you for that, Liz. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I'm out there. I'm loving the support that we're getting. And yeah, I agree. We're going to do what we need to do to get out there to talk to the voters across Massachusetts. And I think I'm very excited about the response that we're getting. So I would really love to have the support of others on this call. Please tell your friends and your family. It's a very important position. And again, you're hiring a lawyer. Who do you want to hire? Who do you want to hire to be the next lawyer for the people? Thank you so much. Again, I'm Shannon Liss-Riordan, running for Attorney General. Really appreciate your time tonight and would so appreciate your support.
Thank you so much, Shannon, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Good luck on your campaign.
Thank you.
And yeah, it was wonderful having you join us. Thank